And I think we're live. So happy Wonder Wednesday, everyone. This is Claudia, founder here at Floxies Community. I'm so excited to see so many people in our chat already. Apologies, we're a couple minutes late. I was just getting our guests acquainted to the space. And so it's really exciting to have you all here. I guess auto layout is such an important topic for designers, and that's why we gathered so much interest around our event today. I'm super thrilled. So without further ado, if this is the first time that you're watching us, we're Floxies Community. We're an international community for women in UX UI design and webflow development, and every week we organize these live webinars here, and we invite guest speakers coming from the design or the webflow world to come and teach our community, but also to share tips with you all. And so without further ado, let's get into our space. We've been using GatherTown as kind of our headquarters. I know that I've told people in the community that unfortunately our space can only allow to up to 10 people nowadays, and so I feel like that might have scared them off, because usually we used to have the full table with all the people around, but today we only have a few. But it's still amazing because we have all these people in the chat, so I can see everyone here: Loren, Maria, Varun, Shots by Johnny, even people on LinkedIn, Tambi, Nikuj. There's loads of you, so let us know if you have any questions anytime during our presentation, and I'll make sure that I'll ask them to our speaker. So let me get into the space and let's join the table. All right. Hi, girls. Welcome. Happy Wonder Wednesday. I was just telling the audience, we have a fantastic, huge audience today. Thanks to you, Kirti, for being here today. And so I was just telling them that maybe I scared them off, when I said to them that Gather can only have 10 people now. And so we used to have this table that you see full of attendees like every week. And now it's a little bit sad. There's only 5 of us, but yeah, hopefully things will change. But nevertheless, it's super exciting to have you here with us today and continue our conversation. So we've been hosting a series of events based on design system. And so so far, we had great speakers kind of showing us best practice around design system with WAFA and how to get started. And we even had Lauren, design advocate at Figma, showing us, how to start building your design system from scratch. And so I wanted to continue that conversation by touching upon the topics of auto layout, tokens, and components in the future. And so today with you, I guess we will be diving more into auto layouts, which is a very hot topic for the whole design community. So would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can get into the presentation?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Varia. Okay. Hi, everyone. And this is Keerti, and I'm from India. And especially a bit bio about me. Like in my early days of college, I'm a little front-end developer, and later I will become a UI UX designer. Especially, I know the designing field through the Figma. It sounds surprising, right? But that's the reality for me as well. And then I know UI UX, that is a dedicated field for designing, and I entered to the learning that both the fields. But I had a lot of interest in UI, especially visual. Then I'm become a full-time visual designer at Kislow, and I have a 3+ years of experience that's specialized in visual designing, and currently I'm practicing the design system as well. And by the way, I'm a award young jury from 2021 as well. So maybe we can dive into the most awaited auto layout. Maybe uh, when you hear the name, maybe most of the people have the fear or like a scary about that panel. What is auto layout? Definitely, there is a need to should use the auto layout. There's so many such questions appeared in our head. but that's totally fine because in the early days when I see the athlete, I also have the same similar kind of scary things, fear, everything I had. But okay, that's why I'm here to clear everything and feel easy to use everything. Actually, this is just a fancy word of auto layer that it's so technical word, but it's super simple. I'm going to make it simple for you as well. So
That's amazing. And I think you're spot on. I think just the words auto layout is so scary and it's like it sounds technical and complicated and people are like, I don't know how to use that. So so happy you're here to clear that up.
yeah, surely, Claudia. And yeah, guys, so for the auto layout, it's actually the one dimensional. This is the most important one we have to first understand. One dimensional means you have to arrange the items in horizontal or in a vertical at a time because you can't do anything in a two dimension. If you want to go to two dimension, then you have to move to grid, but that's not possible in Figma. So we have to only possible is one dimensional auto layout. And yeah, there is a some fancy word like grow to fill and shrink to fit. I will tell you later like what is this kind of stuffs everything. So okay, I know Figma will release the auto layout, but this is a super feature that everyone speak about that. It's super good as well. But we have the question, right? Why I need to use the auto layout? What's the actual purpose and what the problem it's going to solve for us? That's the most important one apart from any kind of feature, any kind of update, right? So this is the first thing is it's actually speed up the workflow of the designer because in our day-to-day life we have so much kind of phases like problem solving like finding the pain points finding the proper solution there is so much of research kind of things are going there so we need our designing workflow should be super speed so it actually helps you to speed up your workflow so next thing is responsive design tool in this modern world actually every website you use or every product you use it's actually responsive from desktop to mobile right so in the Figma itself, it actually forces you to do everything in a responsive. It gives you a new tool like auto layout. It forces you to do everything in a responsive. So next thing is I think this is a favorite one for everyone. There is a proven design for developer. Maybe this sounds like different, but this is a needed for every designer because especially in every designer case, like if you are trying with any new kind of layout or any new kind of designs, you think like, is it possible in development, right? So when you are back to the developer, they will say, no, this is not possible, or this is take a long time. You are unsure with the your design, is it possible or not, right? So if you have done any layout using auto layouts, it's definitely applicable to do in development. This is a very great advantage. So second and thing is save time for all designers, especially when you're using auto layouts, it's definitely save our time. But how it save the time for other designers? Maybe if you are example, if you are a design system designer, then it you are make components for usage of all designers. So if you are making component that build using auto layout, it's definitely save the time of other designers. That's the thing. And this is a super new thing in Figma because as a designer, we are not going to see anything in a developer perspective. We are only see in problem solving, like how aesthetically it's so good, this kind of stuff. So only we are focusing. But think like a developer means auto layout actually push you to that boundary, like think in a developer perspective. Like if you are implement anything, you had a mindset in a developer kind of perspective without the conscious. Like that's the beauty of auto layout. So last thing is friendly developer
That's a
handoff.
really important link to that you're creating, and especially in such a fast developing environment like technology and especially design as well. You always have to be kind of on top of new things popping up, and so even just being a UX UI designer nowadays, whenever you look for a job description, you always say, "Oh, extra features that might be, really recommended could be like learning a knowledge on HTML and CSS or developing websites. And so I can see how that link with development is really important for designers as well to know and get equipped with more skills, to be more employable as well. So
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Then final thing is friendly developer handoff, because if I build anything using auto layout, the spacing, padding, everything will be the very pixel perfect, and it also give you that responsive behavior, everything inside the Figma, right? So you are definitely become a favorite designer for the developers. So this is about the why we should use the auto layout. So let's move into the auto layout panel. First, we are going to familiarize with the panel. Then, in the end, we are going to make a modern header layout that is completely responsive from desktop to mobile. Before that, we are first familiar with panel of every items inside that. So, okay, we are enter into that. Okay. I think in auto layout panel, the first thing you are going to do is first enabling the auto layout. The second thing is you are seeing is the direction. Is it in a horizontal or is it in a vertical? This is the most important thing first in the auto layout. And one more thing I want to mention is actually the auto layout is the imitation of CSS Flexbox. I need to mention it because Flexbox and auto layout are actually same. If you are maybe if you example once you enable the auto layout and going to the inspect panel, if you can able to see it show you as a display flex and flex direction, that kind of steps are shown there. I will show you later. So first, if you want to enable the auto layout, just press the shift E. This is the shorthand for auto layout. Just press the shift A. So it will defaultly go into the horizontal direction, but that's totally okay. There is a two kind of direction I already mentioned, right? One is vertical, one another one is horizontal. So defaultly it will show it as a vertical and another one is horizontal. Okay, now you can recognize this is actually the menu home service about we are seeing in the website in the top left or top right or top bottom in any place. It's totally designer decision. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. But this is the thing. So you can do in a single click like vertical or horizontal. So for vertical, the symbol will be like the down, the horizontal, the symbol towards the left. And in the layer panel, you can able to see for the vertical, it will be look like the stacked look because here, if we are adding any kind of item, it will be grow in a vertical direction if you are choosing the direction as vertical, or if you are choosing the direction as horizontal, like if you are eliminating or adding anything that will affect in the horizontal direction. That's the simple difference. I hope it will be understandable. So yeah.
let's give it a check very quickly. Girls, how are you doing? Is the speed okay? Because I know that Kirti has so much to share, and so let us know if the pace, if we're going too fast or if this is a good pace for now. You can give me a hands up or thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, thumbs up. I can see that. Awesome. All right,
Yeah.
Kirti, you have so many fans. There's a lot of people saying hi in the chat.
Oh,
Let
hi,
me.
Aurea.
We had somebody. Let me see. Let me pull that up for you again. I can't find him. Oh, happy and proud to see you, Kirti, says Prasanna Kumar.
Oh, fine. Hi, Prasanna. Thanks for
Awesome.
the yeah, sure. And okay, fine. And most important thing you have to know is if you are componentize any kind of thing, definitely the direction is not enabled in instances. So it's logged in the instances. So that's the additional point you have to note here. So the final thing is if you want to add auto layout, just press Shift A. If you want to remove auto layout, just press Option Shift A. This is the shorthand. And okay, just move into the next phase. This is a space between and padding. I think maybe the major cover will be over in the outer auto layout panel because the space between and padding you are seeing here, right? So first we are going to see the space between. So space between is nothing but the space between the items. That's so simple, right? It sounds like very simple, I think. So just drag it to increase the spacing. There are two ways of applying the values. One is inside the canvas, another thing is in the panel. So in the panel, there is a symbol here, right? There is a two kind of half cutted rectangle, and there is a line in between. It indicates actually the space between. Maybe if you are horizontal, then it will be shows like horizontal spacing between the items now. So you will just increase or decrease it. It's totally depend on your decision how the value it will be goes here. And another kind of increasing or decreasing the value is just go into the canvas. You can see this pink color lines with the handle, right? When you hover it, there is a double arrow will be shown here. You just drag it to increase or decrease. And if you want to move like with the big nudge, like 8 pixel adder, like if currently it will be 20, if I want to increase it big nudge 24, then 40, then 48, then 64, maybe it actually supports that grid system. Like you are setting the big nudge as 8 pixel, especially in my case I set it 8. Maybe if you are fixed it 10, then it will be increases the value as in the 10 plus 10 plus 10. So then this is similar for the vertical, and the same procedure like dragging are here. So this is super similar here. And so we are going into the padding. Padding means, I think everybody hear about this word padding in web development and uh, uh, very oftenly. So padding is just a space between the container and element inside the container. This is super simple, right? Currently, there is a no padding. Padding is top, bottom, left, and right. There is a four set of padding in a container. Padding is especially inside the containers. Please carefully hear that this is inside the container only. So if you increase it, that's a spaces increases around the element. Okay, so if you want to increase in a particular area, for example, if you want to increase in the top padding only, then just click it and increase it. Like I already said you, right, there is a two way. One is inside the canvas, another one is in the panel. So inside the canvas, if you want to increase the padding or decrease the padding in opposite direction, just press the option key and drag it, or just click it. There is a panel opened there to increase the value. And this is same for left and right as well. Just press the option to select the both side. There is a value appeared here. I just drag it. This is super easy, right? So if you want to change the padding in all direction, just press option shift to space to change the padding of all direction. Just give it as a 24 pixel. So I think this is super simple. And if you want to change anything in the if you are comfortable with the panel, that's super welcome. There is two kind of panel is available here. One is horizontal, another one is vertical. Horizontal is, for example, if you want to change horizontally, just increase the value. If you want to increase vertically, just increase or decrease the value, right? If you want to change every value manually, then there is a force kind of line, like a bitmapped square look like. Just click it for individual padding. You can able to change the value individually. So this is about the space between and padding. And I already said you, like, if you want to drag, if you there is a only two way. One is canvas, another one is panel. This is similar for everything. Okay, so next is alignment. I think here itself people are going to getting a strange kind of a alien feel started here, like in alignment and spacing and distribution, every kind of thing. But I assure you, this is super pretty easy. Okay, so first thing is in alignment. So alignment means the object, how the object is positioned inside the container. For example, maybe it is in top right, or top left, or top center, or bottom right. There is so much kind of possibilities. Actually, the maximum possibility will be only 9, like top left, top center, top right, bottom. left, bottom, center, bottom, right, center left, center, then center right. There is only 9 kind of possibility. Actually, this possibility maybe will affect due to the distribution, but I will tell you about the spacing mode and distribution in upcoming slides. Currently, you just understand what is alignment. Okay, so there is a two kind of shorthand will be used here. One is maybe you can just use the up arrow or down arrow. Just using the arrow itself you can move anywhere. And second shorthand is, if you want, if you press the W, it will go to the top. If you press yes, it go to the bottom. And if you go to the center, just if you want to vertically center na, just press B. If you want to horizontally center na, just press H. And if you want to align the items in left, na, just press A. If you want to align the content to the right, na, just press right. Okay, this is super simple here. But I personally prefer the arrow key because it's easy to navigate everywhere. And please have that conscious, like if blindly if you click the arrow there is no change, so kindly click the widget and then press the arrow key, it will reflect here. Okay, this is about the alignment. So second thing will be distribution. This is the distribution, and then resizing is the most important in auto layout. And I assure you it's super simple, because in distribution there is only two things. One is packed, another one is space between. Packed means there is a fixed there is a fixed value in between the objects, but in space between, this is a, the value is not fixed one. It is, take it as a auto value. The auto means it actually take the space of the container. That's the thing. So for example, this is defaultly in the packed. So if you want to move to the space between, just press widget, then press the X. It will enter into that space between. Okay, you can't able to see the difference, right? This is so similar between two kind of packed and space between, but I will show you what's the actual difference, because space between make a life super change for the designer. I will show you. Mm,
That's a really cool tip. I didn't know the X shortcut. I've always used the display to move things around, but I didn't know you could get it even more into it you pressing X.
yeah, it's okay, sure. So first thing will be in space. I mean, in packed, you can't do any kind of fluidity. It's just fixed in a particular phase. Like for example, if I give it as a center, it will be fixed in center. If I give it as a left, it will be fixed in a left. But as in a fluidity purpose, we didn't want like this, right? For example, maybe in the menu itself, it will be packed as so good. But as a nav menu, for example, this is our company logo, this is our menu. We have to going to make the navigation menu. Just press the Shift A to enable the auto layout. And we want this menu for the desktop 1440, but this is not actually responding. So here itself, I'm going to do a magic. For example, just press the widget and press X. Simple. It will give you that size, like that fluidity. You can see it here, right? This is super simple. If you want a fluidity, just go behind the space between. It will give you that, I mean, that magic. Okay, this is about the distribution, and there is a two-way to use the distribution. One is press the X to change between the packed and space between. Another one is enter into the advanced auto layout setting. There is a spacing mode. It will show you what is space between actually look like when you have it. If it packed, how it look like. Maybe it will use in a yearly stages, but after a couple of usage, you will just use that shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we are into the resizing property. So I think most of the people are awaited for this, because this is the most frustrating and irritating part in AutoCAD, because this is not actually taking our words. If I expect it should be like a fluid purpose, but it actually looks like a rigid one. But this is actually so simple. If you understand the behavior, this is not a big deal. I will tell you in a very simple.
Embrace the hug, everyone.
Yeah, but this is super simple because if you want to anything rigid, just go behind the fixed width. Because uh, if you want to type anything, that should not go beyond that width. Then you will follow the fixed width. But hug content and fill container is opposite to fixed width because the both persons are super fluid person, but fixed width it's super rigid person. So if you want your responsive behavior is rigid one, just go behind the fixed. If you want it fluid, then go behind hug and fill container. Okay, I will tell you what is hug content and fill container. I think this symbol will make you aware about that. If it fixed, it will show you like a scale. It is fixed one. If the hug content mean actually uh, the container will go. It's based on the content growth. For example, if I am typing something like again button, actually the container also grow. It's based on the content growth. That is actually the hug content. The name itself defined it.
So
The
it's like a
container.
wrapper. It's like wrapping whatever is inside. So if whatever you have inside that box is growing, the box itself will grow.
Yes, exactly. And the fill container is actually in most places you are going to use the fill container. So carefully hear that. So fill container is mostly fill container only applied to the child element. For example, this is the parent container. Our child is the text, right? So if it is a hug content, for example, it is a if it is a hug content, it is not inside the container, right? So if I make it as a fill container, it will into the container. In a simple word, it actually take the space of the parent container. And if you are applying the fill container to the child, definitely the parent container will become the fixed one, because there is a fixed size and fixed spacing are available to the child, then only it will occupy the entire space. If you are, for example, if you are making your parent container to the hug content, automatically the child element will become the fixed one. If you are making it as a fill container, then the parent container automatically into the fixed. You can't make a fill container child and the hug content parent, because it need a fixed space for fill container. So yeah, anytime you are using the fill container, definitely you are going to use the fixed parent. But there is a surprise here, because if you are using the nested auto layout, for example, this parent is the child of another auto layout frame, then absolutely the parent frame is going to be the fill container. This is a possible one, but this is only possible in nested auto layout. If you are going to use a plain auto layout frame, there is a no possible to use a fill container to the parent. I hope this is
Is that
able to.
clear? Yeah, is that clear for everyone, or should we show another example?
Yeah.
Curious to know. Let's see. Gabriella sends a thumbs up. Zara, Irina, would you like to go through another example, or should we continue?
Do you mind if we go through it again one more time?
100%. You know, this is
I'm a
our
bit lost.
opportunity to learn, and
Thank
also I can see there's also some questions in the chat
Okay,
from the
perfect.
from the audience, and we're getting so many questions about, will this be recorded? People are scared of missing out. Yes, this is all recorded. If you're liking this content, you know, just follow our YouTube channel. All our streams are there, so you can always catch up and show us some love. So yeah, Kirti, would you like to go through it again, please?
Okay, sure. From the fill container or from fixed itself?
I guess the fill container, or
Okay.
what yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, I can repeat it. The fill container is it's only applied to the child element, and if it in the case you want to apply in the parent, it should be possible in the nested auto layout. It's nothing but the parent should be inside the another auto layout frame. Then only it's possible to give the fill container to the parent. Fill container is just a uh, occupy the space of the parent container. This is so simple, right? Then only it can able to fluidly move around everything. If maybe the content will be hug content or fixed, there is no fluidity happen there because based on the content itself, it's grow. That's why we need a parent should be fixed and child should be full container. Okay, so maybe I will
Can
show
you,
the.
yeah, show us the error that you will get maybe?
Okay.
That could be.
Maybe, for example, in the button itself, okay, currently it will show it is a hack content, right? So inside the child, I will make it as a full container. Okay. So automatically the parent will change into the fixer. If I now I will do it, it will look super fluid, right? So next thing is if so that is a question. Like I want to make my parent container also full container one because it is a nested one. Now then just again press the shift A. For example, I will show you for only for the example. So there is a parent container will be the frame, this frame, and this purple is the child of that white parent container, right? So now I can you can do it. There is no fluidity. So for this fluidity purpose, you can again click this purple container and make it this full container. Now it is become super fluid. So simple. There is a simple logic. If you want any container should be fluid, just make the child element as a full container. How many nested childs you have, just make it everything as a full uh, width, I mean full container in a width and hug content as the height. This is the simple logic.
Okay,
Maybe
so hug content as the height and fill container as the width.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh, there is a two kind of shortcuts. If you have this fill container, suddenly you need it as a hug content. Just double click it. It will be look like a hug content. If you want make it as a fill container, just press Option key and double click it. It will become a fill container. This is the shortcut for hug content and fill content. Hug content, just a double click. For fill container, press Option and double click.
That's
So
super helpful. And I think also like Tanya from YouTube is saying the parent has to be fixed and the child has to fill the container. And that's
yeah.
super helpful. Thank you so much, Tanya. Yeah, because if you think of a box, right? Think of a box and you're pouring water into this box. So the box is like fixed and you know that's never going to change, but whatever you pour inside is going to fill that container. That's the way that I'm visualizing it myself to understand.
Yes, exactly. So I think maybe from this example, maybe people's getting more clarity about the fluidity behavior. So if you are the fluidity lover, then this is your formula for your entire layout. Like maybe it's a dashboard or it's a web layout, whatever anything. If you want to make it, this is your formula. For example, I said you right. If you had a parent container, this purple is a parent container. Inside pink is a child container. That's why I make it as a emoji child. Okay. So the child container will be the width should be fill container, right? I enabled as a fill and height will be the hug. Okay, and the parent container will be fixed with and hug content. Why I give it as a hug content means because whenever I shrink the layout, the content will be break down into the next line, right? So if it is only the hug content, the entire layout should be respond to that. Otherwise, it will be break like. For example, I will show you that maybe I will make it as a fixed height. I will do it, it will look like a overflow. That's why I make it as a hug content. So this is your formula. Wherever you want to make it as a fluid, just blindly go towards with this fill container, hide this hug content. This is super simple. And guys, don't hesitate to play around this resizing because for the fluidity, I tell you this kind of formula. Maybe if you are responsive behavior, maybe change. Like if it's a fixed width or if it's a hug content, it's totally your responsive behavior. So these decisions are totally based on your fluidity or rigid based responsiveness. If you are choosing your responsive behavior become fluidity, then you can going to use this formula. This is applied to everywhere because already you see this is a nested auto layout. For example, this is the container. Okay, this is also the parent, and this purple also the parent, and the content inside also having the child, right? So this child also have fill container and hug content. The parent pink also fill container hug content, and purple also have fill container hug content. This is the simple formula. Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
think this may be
And that's a good point that you're mentioning the responsiveness, because if you're designing, say, for a website, and then obviously you have to also provide your developers with a mobile design. If your content is overflowing, so it's not following this kind of laws of fixed width, hug content. Basically, what happens when your Canva gets shorter and narrower because it's mobile, if the content inside is not being hugged by the parent, then what you see is that your page, the content of your page, like your hero, your title, whatever it is going to overflow. And so you get those errors when you're developing. And so that's why it's so important to learn about this, because then you're going to see for your developer. Otherwise, you're going to run into so many errors and your content is going to overflow instead of being contained into these containers.
yeah. Especially if you are facing the overflow, just wherever you are facing the overflow in the vertical, you just give the hug. That's the best solution for that overflow in a vertical. Maybe if it's overflow in horizontal, just move towards the fill. That maybe makes sense.
Yeah, and I can see somebody on YouTube saying, do companies actually want the designs to be in auto layouts, or the developers asking the designs in auto layouts? Yeah, I hope that kind of replied your question, because or answered your question, because yeah, basically you can provide a sort of design, but if you're thinking of responsiveness and that same design being applied onto different canvas and different devices, you have to provide the developers with, how you want it to look if it's a mobile. And so it's important that you also give them this kind of clean design for them to understand how you want it to be looking and built on mobile or different devices.
Yeah. Actually, for a responsive design, there is a one single design is not enough for every breakpoint. I will tell you with a breakpoint as well in upcoming next playgrounds. So before that, I will ended up with other advanced options in auto layout. I think absolute is the most powerful thing if you want to break the document flow of the auto layout. For example, uh, everyone know WhatsApp, right? So I want to place the notification above, but in case if I drag it to here, but it actually inside the auto layout. So this is not actually responding because I need to notification in the top right. So there is a feature come to help us. That is absolute. Just press this icon that is near to X and Y position. There is a plus icon. Just press it. Okay, this is actually come out of the document flow and press in the top. You just move randomly like in a canvas without any kind of frames or any kind of auto layout. You just randomly move it, right? That's the same behavior for the absolute position the items as well. So once you are making it as absolute position, you are no longer having the auto layout kind of feature. You only have this constraint. It's into the feature of constraint as well. Why there is auto layout shown here is this item actually made in auto layout, like this notification. That's why it will shown here. Otherwise, there is a no way to show the auto layout. Only it will show the constraint alone. So next topic will be stacking order. I think this is a super familiar to everyone. Figma recently announced like there is a negative padding is introduced there. So if you want to make the Z index reverse. For example, the first item is top here. Maybe I want to make it as the last item. From the last item itself, it should be top. Na? Then go to triple dot and just press last and top. Then everything from that may be arranged from in a reverse order. You can make it as a first and top as well. So this is help you in stacking behavior. So this name is actually canvas stacking. This is simply do reverse the layer of wizard index ordering of your auto layout. That's the simple thing it actually did. So finally into the base alignment baseline. So mostly our text and icons are aligned well. Maybe in some case it is not aligned properly. Maybe it look imbalanced. Maybe you can try with this. For example, just press the this alignment panel and press the B to make align in the baseline. For example, the icon and the text, everything should be aligned in the baseline. That's the key behind it. Maybe if you are feel difficult with pressing B, there is a simple way. You get into the advanced auto layout, just click it in the align text baseline. It will align into this baseline. So this is super simple, and maybe in some cases it will use you, but the shortcut will be simple. Just press the B. Okay,
We
so
have a
fine.
question from Vijay. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. What if we use negative padding instead of absolute?
Absolute. Sorry, Vijay. Actually, absolute is completely different. Negative padding is completely different. Maybe instead of negative padding, you can able to use the space between option. For example, here, maybe if it is in a pack, you will use the negative value. Maybe if it is in a space between, there is a no need of using the space between value. Just drag it. It will give you as a stacked fill. But there is no need usage of absolute here. Maybe if you want any circle, it will be looks in a top or bottom. Maybe you just include it and give that absolute position. It will be positioned in whatever place they need. I mean, you need. I think I answered your question. Maybe if not, not just
Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Also, I think the absolute is always connected to the container, isn't it? So the item that is absolute, at least that's how it works on Webflow. And I'm just thinking, like, everything you're doing, I'm thinking on how we develop it on Webflow. And so the absolute item always reacts to the container. So the absolute position always moves around that container and it doesn't go anywhere else. Whereas if you use something different, it will just move wherever you want it to be. But then again, as soon as the size changes, you're gonna see that item all over the place. It's not gonna follow any law. So the absolute is always following the kind of container where that is connected to.
okay. I think what he actually asked, like absolute and stacking order is related, or what kind of question he's actually meant to be?
He was asking about like what if you use negative padding? So instead of using the absolute to change the order, why don't you just use negative padding to move it around? And I think that's because it will just change. It wouldn't follow the rule of design, and so as soon as you move the Canva, what you think was the right position for the item using the negative padding, you're gonna see that it's gonna be in a completely different place as soon as you move the Canva.
Yes. Based on the resizing behavior, maybe absolute is the best option for the particular item is positioned and breakout from the document flow. Yes. Maybe can I move to strokes?
Yeah, sure, 100%. This is such
Sure.
a great masterclass, by the way. Thank you so much. Masterclass on auto layout. Amazing.
Thank you. Actually, there is a very important playground is awaited for that. So this is the final thing in the auto layout panel. So stroke. Okay, you are already here about the stroke, right? So there is a stroke. if there is a two kind of options available in Figma, like included in layout, excluded from the layout. For example, here is a there is a three rectangle here. So the stroke is outside of the rectangle, so everyone know that. But if we are not included in the layout, it will be look like the padding will be measured from this rectangle and this rectangle, and there is a no proper calculation here. If you are include this stroke inside, so then only it will be measure the padding from one stroke to another stroke. Like for example, the it will measure the padding from stroke of one rectangle to stroke of another rectangle. I think this is the best possibility you are going to use. Maybe in some cases you needed it, but this is not the actual 56, because you can able to see here, right? This is actually covered this stroke value as well. So this is not the actual 56 padding available here. Here only we have 56. This is the difference. If you want to enable it, just go to triple dot and press included to excluded. If you excluded it, it just again measure it from one rectangle with another rectangle, not from the stroke of the rectangle. If you only included it, it will measure the padding from stroke of one rectangle to another rectangle. I think this is more rarely used cases, but that's also covered in Figma. So yeah, finally, we are going to enter into this playground. And before that, I want to mention you that one thing, because this is super helpful in any kind of dashboard or any kind of layout, because the grouping is most important one. Grouping mean what are the items are so nearer should be grouped together first. Then only you can group that layout with another fairer element. For example, this headline and subtext should be grouped first, then only this item will be grouped with this CTA, then only this three cards should be grouped with this item. Why I tell this grouping is so important is because once you are into the uh, tablet or mobile, if you are changing from vertical to horizontal direction, if you are making the grouping is correct, just a single click make your design responsive. That's why I'm telling you. Maybe now it's not clear. Maybe in this playground you will able to understand that. You can notice there is a box here, right? That is actually nothing, but you have to imagine in a website or dashboard or any kind of product, you have to imagine everything in a box kind of thinking. Box not mean this brown box. Actually, the card box, the image box, then two content inside a box. That kind of box model thinking you have to need. That's help you to arrange everything in a perfect manner to adapt to the next layout. Okay, so we are move into the playground. Auto layout
Woohoo!
play.
I love a little bit of playground, even though we're a bit short on time, but I love that.
Yeah. So I think this is the perfect handoff you are going to give to your developers. So from the 1920 pixel to 4 and 4 small breakpoint itself, how it is going to be look. This is super important here. So you have to hand off like this, and everything will be responsive as you see here this header, and everything like from the tablet, mobile, everything should be responsive. And you have noticed it, right? There is an image. It will be in the left, but it will be in the bottom. In mobile also, it will be in the bottom. That's why I tell the arrangement is more important when you are into the auto layout. Like grouping is more important. And one more thing, maybe I will plan to show you in an end. Like we can able to make a dashboard that completely made of auto layout. You can see it right here. It is completely made of auto layout, and
This is
you
so
can.
important to show because I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat and people are thinking like, oh, should we be designing, why can't we just design more screens that are already, you know, designed for that particular frame? Well, we're doing this, we're showing this to optimize your time, right? If you're designing for a big dashboard, a web app, a website, you don't want to spend days and days just thinking of all the different devices that you have to design for. Otherwise, I mean, think of all the new iPads or the new phones that are coming out. You would have to design every day for a new device. And so you use auto-layout to do the design once, and then just like Kirti is showing, if you stretch that design, it gets bigger with all the content. And if you shrink it down into mobile, you can still read it, and it adapts to all different frames. And that's why it's important to learn about this.
Yes. And if you want to making any changes, like if I'm going to add another card, it automatically grow and shrink. Everything will be happened inside it. And the beauty is everything will be the same trick. I already mentioned you, right? The width is filled, the height is content. That is, I totally used in this full of dashboard. That's how the entire dashboard will made. And I make this site navigation as a fixed one because I need this navigation. There is no need to grow. I always need it should be in a fixed. That's why I make it as a fixed. Otherwise, all things are stretched very well. So this is about the dashboard. I make everything as a component, like every little atom as a component for controlling in a single place. That's why I make it in a component. But now we are going to enter in this web page. Actually, I already said you right, we don't need one design for every breakpoint. We actually need to design every breakpoint, but in a single click. That's where it's going to be here. Okay, now we are going to see this desktop design, but there is no fluidity, right? It is just a static one. So we are going to do the magic to make everything as a responsive. So first thing you have to in the mind is, from a small thing you are going to start a response. You are going to start making everything responsive. So first we are going into the navigation. Just select every menu, just press the shift A. So it is into this container, and make everything inside the container should be in a full container. I already mentioned you, right? So that's the thing we are going to do. That's the same thing we are going to do here as well. Again, press the shift A. So now we are going into the alignment of top right. That's why if it grow, for example, if the text is grow, it grow from right to left. That's why I make it as a here. So you can able to see it, right? And everything should be in a full container. It's a mandatory one. So I can make this select both things and again press the shift A. So I make it as a space between because it should be fluid, right? That's why I make it as a space between. If you are go behind the fluid, then you definitely go behind the space between. That's the magical word we should follow. So we are going to choose all this text and again press the shift A. You can see this is all aligned in the center, but actually we need it as a left align. So you are seeing the design is not matched because the art is uh, towards the here, not everything should be in the end. So again, I make it as a I wrap this content into another auto layout frame. So it is actually taking the space. Just make it him as a 0. So I increase the padding in the left side alone. That's why the A will match in the R because the design will be look like here, right? The A will be matching in the R. That's why I'm making it like that. Like you can clearly seen it here. This art direction designer, it's will be in the another auto layout frame just for that purpose only. So that spacing purpose only. And there is one thing we have forgot. We have to make everything as a full container. That's the thing we have to do it here. And again, make it everything full container head content. And actually, we need only uh, 24 pixel spacing between them. 1 minute. Okay, 24
We
pixel
have a
only.
question from Gabriella here from our community. She says, how do you trigger that view? I think she means the X-ray when you can see through the design, you can see just the structure. What's the
Okay,
shortcut?
it's actually the command Y. If you
Command
press
Y. Yeah,
Y, it will enter into the skeleton view.
yeah,
Again, press the command Y to get out of the skeleton view.
very
Okay.
nice.
So here it is ready for this first phase is ready for the entire auto layout. So again, press the Shift A to enter into the auto layout. I think this is 16. Actually, we need 24. So make it as a 24. Now this image, you can now resize it the entire frame. But I think there is no difference happen here, right? Because we are not making everything as a fill container and fill container. Okay, so and there is a only left column only is left to make it as auto layout. So we are selecting this and just press the Shift A. Okay, the content inside the logo and the button is outside auto layout. So again, back to the normal mode, we have to make this learn more as a button. Just again press the Shift A. This is into the auto layout. So it is it will actually look like a button, right? So the logo don't need any kind of frame. So just select this right frame and press Shift A. Okay, again it will go there, right? So just press this logo and click the absolute position. Yeah, it is into the frame. Just
Because it sits on top of it.
yeah. So this is same similar procedure for I think I can't able to see it. So I just press the command Y and click the
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Gabriela says for Windows, from Windows users, that's Control Shift 3 to access
yeah.
that view.
Actually, I forgot to tell you this what the difference between Mac and Windows is. If you are using the command, it will be in a control in Windows. If you are using the option key in Mac, it will be Alt in Windows. That's the only difference, but otherwise everything will be the similar. So now we are going to again see that auto layout is respond nothing because we are not making the parent layout as a auto layout. That's the reason it's not resizing. So just select the entire desktop and press the Shift A. So
The
yes,
parent is abandoning his children.
yeah, I think we have to expect it should be resizing, but again, it's not resizing. That's the fault we have made here. Inside the child, there is a two kind of container, right? So we have to make both as a fill container and hug content. So we are going to make it fill container. So
Because
there is a
family matters.
but yeah, we are left him. So don't worry, we have to definitely keep him. So just press the image and make him fill container horizontally and fill container vertically. Now we can able to see these changes. That's super simple. I think now again it's break, right? Why it is actually happened like there is a space is here, right? Because we are not making this container as a field because there is a content string, the entire layout will be grow because we are going to give the height as a hug content. That's why the entire layout will be grow. So we have to adapt the left layout that respond to the right layout as well. For this reason, I'm going to break the hug content to fill container because then only I can able to do it. So you can see a problem here, right? Once I give it, there is a spacing problem appear here. Why it's happened is because I didn't give the constraint as a left and bottom. It is actually in a left and top. That's why the problem happened there. Now you can able to resize in super simple manner. That's how it's done for the desktop. You can believe it. This is super simple. So in its just simple step, you are going to make change in a tablet. Just press the command D. 1 minute. Oh, it is out of the layout. No problem. We can drag it. So for the this for the tablet, just press. We are going to change the direction, right? Because the tablet look like the image will be in the top. Sorry, I mean the image will be in the bottom. The content will be in the top, right? So just press the bottom, vertical layout direction. Okay, he is in a tab. No worries, we will make him in the bottom. Just click the arrow key, down arrow key to make him to click the, move the image to the bottom. So the entire layout move to the bottom, and in the top, there is a header will be available here. So what we are going to do is, first thing is, our tablet is not 1395. Definitely it will be shrink it. So 768. I think most is we built. So this is not going to be here. It is actually going to be here because it is in the top, right? It is absolute position. So it's not obey to the any rule of auto layout. It is a free person move from anywhere. That's why I make it to the top. Now you can, this is okay. This is not responding. You can see it, right? Because the inside auto layout, the two frame is should be in a full container. Then only,
And I'm gonna
and
share in the chat with the audience on YouTube and LinkedIn. There's a Figma, actually, there's a playground on Auto-layout that Figma has created for you to play around with this, just like what we're doing in our presentation. So I'm gonna pop that link in the chat. And just a reminder for everyone here, like if you want to get the slides, the recording, if you're part of our community, we're active on Discord every day. So if you're a woman, you're in luck, you join our Discord and you get all the resources. But for everyone else, you're also, we always think about everyone. And so you can catch the recordings on YouTube. So feel free to follow our channel and see all the fantastic webinars that we've been having every week. So thank you. I'm going to pop that in the chat because I can see so many questions that are coming. And so feel free to connect with us and shoot me a DM. Always very happy to reply to all your questions. I know that we're running a little bit after the hour and we have to wrap up soon. So we'll make sure that we answer your questions via DM. But I'm going to put that link in the chat. Sorry, Kirti.
it's okay, no problem.
All right. Okay, so I put that in the chat. Awesome. Okay, so we're finished. We're finished with the playgrounds.
Yeah, actually, it's a mobile breakpoint is balanced, but this is actually similar to the mobile. Just press the command B and just decreases the bit to 4 and 4, and this is actually get into the string, and we just decrease the padding to 16. Then decrease the height as well. Yeah, then the content is so big, so I make it as a 32 pixel, and I don't need this kind of spacing, so I just decrease it 16. I think the mobile is super ready for the next thing, and this content should be in the center. Yeah,
Awesome.
we are end with that.
Awesome. Well, fantastic. Great work. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you some confetti love here. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, I will share this entire file and in a community file as
That
like
would be
I will
amazing. Yeah. Yes,
send to
thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have not only obviously insightful speakers like yourself, but one of the goals that we have here at Floxies is to highlight and promote talented women like yourself, and especially like young people, because we're hopefully inspiring the next generation. We had to go through so many challenges to get where we are, and so we're trying to pave an easier way and path for all the new people to join the design space, because it's a welcoming, supportive community. And so it's great to have people like you and everyone else here at Floxies to kind of lead that change and yeah, and promote all of this. So thank you so much for being here with us today. We absolutely love the presentation, and I can see from all the comments in the chat that everyone really appreciated it. It's such a hot topic for designers, and yeah, I'm looking forward to our next events, and we will be soon we will be wrapping up this series on design systems. I think our next event is going to be based on tokens and components, and then we're going to have a final event where we build our design system from scratch for Floxies Community with Wafa, who came as a speaker before. So amazing. Well, excited to finally have you here with us, Kirti. Excited to have you in the community, and thank you again for your awesome presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Claudia. It's actually immense pleasure for me to represent this topic because most of the designers feel a bit scary because yeah, I am itself in the early stage, I feel it. So I just make the presentation to feel it's more friendly for them, like a comrade for the designers. That's why I hope it helpful. Maybe if it's a bit difficult even after this session as well, but maybe if somebody feel there is no problem for that, there is some time of some amount of time it will need to play around with the layouts, play around with that banner as well, but that is completely fine. And I will say it again, this is just a fancy word only, but it's super simple. And thanks, Claudia, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Of course, of course. And
Yeah.
to everyone here, have a fantastic week ahead, and take care, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.